there is absolutely no way for the Israeli government to actually defend itself in this case that South Africa is bringing against them through the ICJ. The amount of evidence of the Israeli government committing a genocide is enormous. You got the destruction of the critical infrastructure, about 70 to 80%. You got millions of people displaced. You got millions of people being starved. You got the like 22,000 people dead, mostly men, mostly women and children. And you got the ministers who are calling for a genocide of the Palestinian people, either via just making it uninhabitable or forcing a forced relocation of the Palestinian people. That's all genocide.
South Africa and its government have been unequivocal about their support for a free Palestine and have consistently expressed outrage at the relentless bombardment and humanitarian catastrophe unfolding in Gaza. 3 days before the new year, it filed an urgent application to the International Court of Justice, accusing Israel of committing genocide in Gaza in violation of the 1948 Genocide Convention. In terms of the convention, conspiracy to commit genocide and incitement to commit genocide is punishable.
South Africa sets out the legal requirements for a finding of genocide, and then it sets out its evidence, its preliminary evidence, to show that Israel is responsible for either committing genocide or failing to prevent it.
Powell says it's interesting that Israel is defending the case, as it previously ignored the court's ruling.
Israel would have to, if it wants to defend itself, it's going to have to show either that the sources on which South Africa is relying when it gives all its evidence are not legitimate, that they're fake, or that somehow the evidence can be discounted, or it's going to have to show that the evidence doesn't fit under the definition of genocide.
Israel has condemned the case, and the U.S. National Security Council said South Africa's case was meritless, counterproductive, and completely without any basis of fact whatsoever. Meanwhile,
It's no surprise that the United States is going to defend the Israeli government. The United States defends the Israeli government no matter what it does. The Israeli government could launch a nuke against Gaza, and the United States would defend the Israeli government on that.
South Africa Jews for a Free Palestine, a group of anti-Zionist Jews, says it welcomes the case.
It feels like it's the most logical step for the South African government to show their intention around what is clearly a genocide and to make that submission to the ICJ.
The South African government says, as a state party to the Convention on the Prevention of Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, the country is under a treaty obligation to prevent genocide from occurring and wants the ICJ to act. South Africa is asking the International Court of Justice for urgent interim measures, which include an immediate ceasefire, that Israel should stop all its military activity in Gaza and restore water and electricity services, and allow humanitarian and medical aid into the Strip. All eyes will be on the Peace Palace in The Hague on Thursday as South Africa argues its case. Legal experts say it is useful to look at genocide as a separate issue from the issue of the use of force.